Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I just want to talk about my postpartum experience. So I'm almost 5 weeks postpartum now. I'll be 5 weeks on Tuesday and I'm filming this on Sunday. So a couple of days away from 5 weeks postpartum, and to be honest with you, it's been hell. Like, I watched a few videos about postpartum just to get myself prepared because I thought, you know, I'll just have a little watch just to see what it's like, what to expect. And to be honest, I didn't watch that much. I was more interested in like labour and delivery vlogs because that's what I was going to have to get through first before the postpartum. So I just, you know, didn't really think about it much. And a few people said like, yeah, you bleed. So I thought that's fine, you know, it's just a period. I've had a period, no problem, not the nicest, but I can deal with that. That was really it. Like, a bit of pain, didn't really think much of it. I was fine. I was like, well, after the baby I'm going to be fine. And everybody said to me, because I suffered quite bad with sciatic pain when I was pregnant, and everybody was like, well, once you have the baby, you know, you'll be pain free. And I thought, oh yeah, I can't wait. So I have the baby, and I had a 3rd degree perineal tear and 2 2nd degree tears somewhere in there as well. I don't really know where they are, but yeah, so 3 tears, 1 3rd degree perineal tear, which is horrific. I haven't actually looked at it myself because I'm too scared to even look down there, but I've googled it and I nearly collapsed. It's that disgusting. So yeah, anyway, so I had that stitched up, well, all of them stitched up. I had that in theatre. I had an anaesthetic, so when I came out, I didn't feel any pain, and I felt great. And the midwife was coming around with painkillers the next day, and they were like, take these painkillers, and I was like, oh, I don't need to, I'm not in pain. And they were like, well, you will be soon. And I was like, well, I'm not taking painkillers if I'm not in pain. I was just confused because I just didn't really know why I'd need painkillers as I wasn't in pain. But so I refused the painkillers, and then the pain came, didn't it? And it was this ache in my vagina. It was so achy, like it almost felt like everything was going to fall out of there, like this dull ache. I can't describe it, like a bruised feeling, but just, yeah, really annoying dull ache, but not really dull because it was quite painful. But yeah, so that was that. And then obviously I asked for some painkillers, and I was like, oh god, I am in pain. And they laughed and they were like, well, yeah. But anyway, they gave me the painkillers, and then I looked down because, oh yeah, they said you might be a bit swollen. So I looked down there, and honestly, it was awful. It was just this inflamed, like blowfish almost. That's what it looked like, this big blowfish, which was the vagina, and then the opening was like the fish little lips. Absolutely disgusting. I looked away. Obviously the ibuprofen did take that inflammation down, and it was fine. But yeah, that was bad. That was awful, to be honest. And then I hadn't got out of bed. I had a catheter in, and they said, we need to take your catheter out. So they took the catheter out, and I needed to go to the toilet, so they wanted me to stand up. Well, I couldn't feel anything in my legs. The spinal block I had was wearing off, but my legs felt really numb and swollen. They were just really weird. They looked swollen. They kept saying to me that they weren't that swollen, but to me they were huge, and they were white. There was no colour in my legs. So I tried to stand up anyway. I felt really lightheaded because I hadn't eaten, and I was really low in iron. I'd had 3 units of blood transfused anyway, as it was, but I was still low in iron. So when I stood up, I felt so dizzy. I was like, I'm going to collapse. They were holding onto my hands, trying to get me just to walk one step. I couldn't for about half an hour, until I took 1 step to the chair in front of me. I couldn't get to the toilet. They told me to go in a bowl. But all I felt was this heaviness down there. Like and in my feet, I couldn't lift my feet up. They were just, imagine wearing skis and trying to lift them up, walk in skis. That's what it was like. And yeah, it was just so weird. I just thought, well, this is it. Like, I'm not going to recover from this. What the hell is this? And I went to the toilet in this little brown pot thing. And the thing was, because I'd bled so much, I was so scared to get up, so scared to move, so scared to do anything, because the day before when I was giving birth, every time they moved me, because I had a hemorrhage, every time they lifted me up, I just kept pouring and pouring with blood, so I just kept expecting that to happen, and that's what it felt like was going to keep happening, because it felt so heavy. So I went to the toilet, and I tried to stand up, and that came out. That was fine. That was better than I thought, to be honest. The first wee was okay. Thought it was going to be worse, but obviously, well, I might get this wrong because I'm not really best at the genitalia area, but the bladder's next to the urethra or something, and basically there was blood in there, like when you're on your period. It wasn't too bad, but it was just like this big red bowl, and it kind of freaked me out again because I thought, God, more blood. All I'd seen was just blood. I thought, how can I have so much blood in my body? I don't know. You know, obviously I'd had a blood transfusion, but I thought, I hated it, all of this blood I was losing. But it was alright. So I had real trouble walking, real trouble just walking in general, because I just felt like I was going to faint and I couldn't lift my feet up. So anyway, I was on a ward at this time, like I don't know what they call it, but it was somewhere where you go after you've like had an anaesthetic, so they can monitor you. And then I was transferred to the postnatal ward the next day. When I went up there, they were trying to like really progress me, like you need to walk to the toilet and stuff. So I did try. I mean, I was holding onto the wall. I thought I'd probably collapse, but you know, I'll have to, because I've got to walk sometime. They said I couldn't go in a bowl, so it was either wee myself or go to the toilet. And it was only round the corner, so it wasn't too bad. So I started making a bit of progress every day, but it was just so hard. It really was. I just thought, I can't do this anymore. Like, what am I going to do? I was getting really emotional about it all. My face was yellow. I just looked so ill, to be honest with you. And then they said to me, the dreaded, you need to try and do a bowel movement. And I thought, there's no chance in hell I'm pushing anything else out of my body. I've just pushed a baby out, I'm not pushing nothing else. They gave me laxatives though, which, yeah, to be fair, the laxatives, they helped later on, but to start with, obviously they didn't make a difference. But I was just so scared to go to the toilet, so I just kept holding it in, which is really bad. And I know this is too much information, but I kept holding it in, so I kept passing wind out. Because when I don't know about anyone else, but when I hold in a bowel movement, wind just keeps flying out. And obviously it would anyway, because I hadn't started pelvic floor exercises yet or anything, and I damaged that muscle wall and stuff. So wind was just flying out of me, and it was embarrassing, but I just didn't care anymore. Like, yeah, actually it's not embarrassing, because I just didn't care. I was literally sitting in my room with my boobs out all the time. I forgot even where I was. So yeah, I was so scared to do a bowel movement. I didn't do one for 3 days. I didn't do one the whole time I was in the hospital until I got home. And when I got home, you know, I did start to feel a little bit better, but the pain in my stitches, and I didn't realise how much I'd have to keep taking tablets. I thought 1, 2, 3 days of tablets, but no, I couldn't even sit down. Like now I'm managing to sit down all right, but I was having to like really lower myself into a sitting position or a standing position because it was so uncomfortable. And I was on, well, I was taking 2 paracetamol and ibuprofen every 4 hours for, God, definitely 2 weeks. And then I should have probably taken them for longer, but I didn't want to keep taking them. I did take them after, but not every 4 hours. I just took them as and when like I felt pain. But yeah, sometimes it was so painful, and it got worse when I would be walking around and stuff, or like if I've been out or walked up the stairs, that would be more painful. So the stitches really painful, and if you do get them, then yeah, they will be painful. The painkillers do help, to be fair with them, but it just makes you feel sick, like knowing that you've got stitches down there, knowing, you know, getting in the shower was horrible because I could just feel them. I could just feel something in there, like a wound. Oh, it was horrible. I didn't want to touch there. I didn't want to, like, you're not meant to wash there with soap, but you're meant to wash there with water. Obviously, I was putting water there, but I was cringing. I was closing my eyes. Sometimes I'd be screaming in the shower. It would be that bad. I just felt awful. So yeah, very painful. Another thing is the blood. Like, I wouldn't say I wasn't shocked by the amount of blood I lost, really, because it was more like, it was like a heavy period. I was more annoyed about how long it went on for, if you know what I mean, because it doesn't just stop at like a week. I bled for, I'm just on the end bit now, and I'm coming up to 5 weeks. So it's not blood anymore, it's like this discharge stuff. It's disgusting again, but it's better than blood. I bled for about 3 weeks, yeah, and you pass clots, which again, disgusting. I've never passed clots before, so I thought something was really bad was happening, even though I knew, but I worry about everything. I thought, oh no, clots. And they say if they're bigger than a 50p pence, then you need to worry. And I was like looking at them thinking, is this bigger than a 50p? I don't know. I think some of them were, to be honest, or about the same size. I don't know, but that was horrible, bleeding all the time. And you can't just put a normal sanitary towel on, you've got to wear a nappy, like adult nappies. And they ain't cheap either. I mean, I got through loads of them, absolutely loads. I got through a couple of bags of the nappies, there's not many in there, and then I went to nighttime sanitary towels, then normal sanitary towels, and now we're on to the panty liners. So we've progressed down. Very annoying. Another thing was the breastfeeding. In the hospital, the baby was really amazing. She latched on straight away. It was really good. You know, they were like, yeah, you're doing really well, she's doing really well. And as soon as they got home, she wouldn't latch on. My nipples were sore. They were getting really engorged with milk. So, well, when my milk came in a few days later, they were getting really engorged with milk. So they were leaking. I was waking up in puddles of milk, which was so uncomfortable, especially as I couldn't get up because I was in pain. Oh, it was awful. I could be here all day talking about this. That's how bad it was. So yeah, that was another thing. I'd literally be crying. My nipples were so cracked, so sore. I literally, by day 3, I was like, I'm going to the bottles. I sterilised them, I got them all ready, but in the end, I did persevere, which I'm so proud of myself that I persevered and didn't give up, because now she's amazing and she was always latching on and stuff. But I'll talk about breastfeeding in another video, because I don't want to, I need to stay on the same topic. Another thing's how emotional I was, and still am sometimes, but when I left the hospital, when I was in the hospital, I was crying when I left, especially when my milk came in, which I know is normal. But I couldn't believe how upset I was. Like, I was crying because I needed a poo. I didn't want a poo. Oh yeah, by the way, I did poo on day 3. And it was, well, put it this way, I was shaking on the toilet. I felt like I was going to collapse. But yeah, I was crying. I was crying on that toilet. And then up until, even now, I'm still panicking about pooing. I'm still like, I need someone nearby, because I just feel like every time I poo I'm going to die. Because it's like pushing the baby out again, do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not pushing hard, I'm just sitting there letting it come out. But obviously, you know, sometimes your body just takes over, doesn't it, and just pushes it out. And that's what happened when I was giving birth. It just reminds me of the whole thing. So I just really don't like pooing anymore. And it will never be the same, I don't think, again. So that's gutting, really. But yeah, and I was saying about how emotional. So yeah, I was just crying about pooing, crying about when songs came on, crying about everything I was crying about. I'm not even joking you. Happy things, sad things. And I mean proper crying, like meltdown crying. So yeah, I think, to be honest, I mean, after speaking to my health visitor and midwives, they do think I'm suffering with postpartum depression, because of like how emotional and how anxious I've been, and how just in general, and because I've suffered with very bad anxiety before, and also how traumatic my birth was. If you watch my labour and delivery story, you can hear about that. But it was, for me, like, I know there's more traumatic things, but for me it was so traumatic, and still now I get flashbacks, and it's just horrible. So they think that, so I am being referred to some team and things like that to talk about that. So hopefully, but to be honest, like, I don't feel that bad now. It could have just been a few weeks of after the birth, but I am feeling a lot better, and I'm not as stressed, and I'm not really getting as upset now. So I don't know, but I'm gonna speak to someone about it, because obviously I don't want to be traumatized forever, and I don't want to get into a depressive state, because it's so easy to when you've got a baby. It really is. So that's it. That's the postpartum. I could talk about it all day, but this video is so long already now, and it's just going to be boring. So I'm going to go now, but I'm going to do some more videos about different things, because I found I was going off on different topics on this video, and I really want to talk about breastfeeding. I want to talk about more of the like postpartum depression side, and the post-traumatic stress, because they've been real big things for me, and yeah, it can be hard. So yeah, anyway, if anyone wants to see any videos, just let me know, because I would love some ideas. I want to try and upload so much now, just because I've recovered. Well, I'm on the way to recovery really well now, so I want to film a lot more. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.